Oh my gosh, I was just on camera being like, well, they're not doing anything exciting today, just standing around. And I was filling the grain buckets over by the water, making sure they're nice and soaked. And Tater escapes and gallops away down this little driveway. And I'm like, Tater, no! So I ran after Tater. Ember is galloping, bucking, going wild like I've never seen her do or even knew she could do. Dancer is thrilled because he's finally got her to himself. He was loving it. Tater got stuck in a garden over there. I'm like, Tater, don't trample the garden. I will be in so much trouble. He's just going wild, bucking and rearing and jumping and galloping. He's like, I'm so free right now. And Ember was having a panic attack in here, doing the same, but with different attitude. I finally caught up to Tater by just going up being like, oh, Tater, want a cookie? Tater loves cookies and treats. Oh, here we go. And then I had a halter in my hand and got him and led him very carefully, very calmly back to his wife, who was still running circles, going crazy, like, why did you leave me? And he started going crazy and running around, and I missed all of it because I was trying to lock the gate so they wouldn't escape again, and I couldn't have my phone in my hand at the same time. Anyways, it was the most exciting moment, and I just have to tell you about it because that's all I can do at this point. Look at how good Tater looks. Look at how beautiful Miss Ember is, apparently feeling very good with her new shoes because I have never seen her fly like that ever. Okay, and here we have Mr. Dance, who is delighted because he got everything that he wanted, which was chasing Tater out, having lots of drama, having the girl to himself, and now he's got his own area to eat his grain next to his yummy yummies. Anyways, I want to update you guys on a situation that has been going on for over a month now, which is infuriating to say. So last year, you remember Blue, Whiskey, and Danny all got adopted to the same lady, which I have since been told is always a red flag, and you should never adopt a bunch of horses to the same person. She had 15 acres of gorgeous grass, pasture land with a creek running through it. It was like such a beautiful magic property, and I could see the horses from one of my favorite trails, so I felt like it was a really good home. Well, less than a year later, someone that used to work for me, a really wonderful volunteer, texts me a photo of Blue, absolute skeleton of a horse, just skin and bone. And I was so shocked and horrified. And then she said, you know what, there are 7 horses there, starving and neglected. And so she told me that she thought that somebody bought the horses, like the lady I adopted them to sold them. So I immediately reached out to the person that I adopted them out to. Her name is Michelle. And said, hey, pretending like I hadn't seen the pictures, I heard you sold the horses to some lady up in Lake County. Do you think I could get her contact information so I can keep tabs on them? And she said, oh no, I've still got all of them. I'm still riding Danny. By the way, I had a picture of Danny. He was the worst of them, the skinniest, and he had always been the fattest of all my horses. And she's like, yeah, he's still my go-to riding horse. And oh, Blue and Whiskey are doing so great. In fact, Blue is doing zoomies in the pasture. She's so happy to see me. And I have all of this on text message to prove that she was lying about it. And then she says, yeah, I've been having a body worker come out once or twice a month to work on Blue and Whiskey, depending on how they feel. And Whiskey is getting once or twice monthly injections, so he feels nice and sound and comfy, because Whiskey had always had soundness issues. So she weaves up this huge lie, says they're all doing great. And then I'm like, okay, well, you know, some neighbors have been a little concerned that the horses are looking thin, and I'm wondering if you're overwhelmed. And her response was, oh, none of those were your horses. All the horses that you gave me are still great. They're all doing really good. I think everyone is confused because I just rescued 3 horses and they all came to me skinny, and they just happened to look like 3 of your horses, like exactly the same. So it's really hard for people to tell the difference. That's what's going on. Meanwhile, I have all the images. One of the horses is branded. Okay, actually 2 of them are branded. They have very distinct markings. One is a paint, a blue-eyed paint, come on, with very specific spots. And I have side-by-side pictures of her starving in Michelle's care and her before she was adopted by Michelle. And I showed her the side-by-side and she's like, sorry, that's not blue. I think you're mistaken. See, if you look really closely, they're different spots. And I was like, I think this person is mentally unwell, because who would lie about that? Who would do that? It doesn't make any sense, because obviously I know my horses and can tell that they are by pictures. Anyways, this thing goes on and has continued to go on. One of her horses had a leg wound that was not treated for over a month because the horse doesn't like her, so it's aggressive and wouldn't let her dress the wound. / she doesn't go up there to care for these horses. She put them on a piece of pasture for free and stopped going, according to the property owners, and would only go up there once, maybe twice a week, and expected the property owners to, for free, feed all of her animals, which included 10 goats, 10 sheep, 5 cows as well. It turned into a very bad hoarding situation where all of the animals have been neglected and starved. We called animal control. They did nothing until I made a post on Facebook, and all of you wonderful, lovely people reached out and made a fucking big deal about this, like it is. And animal control didn't think that it was, and they were kind of annoyed and trying to shut it down. And it's a long freaking story, but it's still happening. So we were able to get Blue and Whiskey out to their original owners before they were ever abused. Magically, one lady from Montana was like, a friend sent her the post, and she was like, that is my horse that I had for years, and I gave her to a trusted friend. I can't believe this happened. And another person literally raised Whiskey and has his dad, and has a beautiful facility down in Santa Cruz. So Whiskey is happily there. Blue is happily being refed. She was so skinny, you guys. It is evil. Anyways, Danny is still there, and he is the skinniest of them all, and it's breaking my heart, and animal control won't let me take him back. They're like, it will be theft, and you will be prosecuted, as if I'm the bad person for trying to save their lives. They're like, oh yeah, Michelle, you know, she did everything we asked, and she didn't, according to everyone, including the property owners. And yet they choose to believe her just on her word, oh yeah, I go up there and I feed them 5 times a day. I'm doing the whole program. I'm camping there, she said. She lied, because she was on the phone with me every night for over an hour at a time, and she was making dinner at her dad's house over 2 hours away where she actually lives. Anyways, it goes on, and I am furious because Danny and another horse named Bidda, the 2 skinniest, worst condition horses whose lives are currently still in danger over a month later. Animal control first went out August 21st. Today is September 26th. They're still out there not being fed, and they're not doing anything because the woman Michelle just says, yeah, I feed them. I do. And she took one of the horses by force to an animal hospital where they were trying to fix this infected septic wound. Apparently the infection spread to the bone because she never treated it. It was being eaten by yellow jackets. The whole leg was swollen all the way up and down, huge. It's obvious that this was like a life or death kind of thing. And they saw it over a month ago and didn't do anything. I'm talking about animal control and Michelle. Didn't do anything until the public called 100 times a day and made a big deal online to embarrass them and be like, what the fuck is the point of you? You're supposed to be here for the animals, not to defend crazy people. For what? You're here for the animals, and you didn't do anything. Anyways, she took that horse, whose name was Hades, out of the hospital because its bills were too expensive, and she said she was being harassed too much, and euthanized him. He could have been saved. He would be alive and with us today if animal control had seized the horses like they were supposed to on the very first fucking visit over a month ago. I never curse, but I'm very upset about this. Excuse me. And, you know, now a horse is dead. There are 2 more starving there, and 2 others that were neglected but fat because they were eating all the food that existed on the property and chasing off the skinny horses who got nothing and are very depressed out there. And the other horses don't have teeth, like this guy. I don't know if he wants to show us today, but he has no upper teeth. He only has bottom teeth, so he has to be grained twice a day. Okay, and that's how he got nice and pleasantly plump from his very skinny self a few months back. And she doesn't do it, and she's still not fucking feeding the horses. And I can't go get them, and it's driving me crazy. And I want everyone to call Lake County Animal Care and Control, or lack thereof, and demand that Danny and Bitta be released to Heart of Gold Sanctuary or Sunrise Rescue or Betsy Bueno. Any of us are willing to take those horses immediately. We all have trailers. We're all ready to go. We're ready to get them and to save their lives. Damage has already been done, you guys. Horses that old and that skinny, their organs start shutting down. And then what? They need to be released right now. I'm gonna throw a fit for the ages because this is so wrong and so insane. The director of animal control up there makes $100,000 a year to do nothing, to save no animals. The last director up there was just fired for the exact same situation where a fake rescue starved a bunch of horses. One died. This is the same situation. A horse has died because of neglect, because of their lack of control or care. I could go, this story is so much longer. A sheep died. The dog is being abused. It's all sad. It's all bad. This lady is telling a different story to each person, which also makes me think mental unwellness, because why would you not just stick to one lie? She has made up like 50 different stories. It just depends on which person you talk to. Anyways, there will be repercussions, and I will have Danny and Bitta by the end of this, you bet. So, sorry to put a downer on this evening and make you frustrated. I'm frustrated and I need help. And this time, it's not even you have to give me money. I just need you to make a phone call. I need you to do emails and phone calls. Board of Directors of Lake County. Email them. Call them is better because they have ignored every email that everyone has sent entirely. Call Lake County Animal Control and put up a fucking fuss and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the horses. They're starving. Stop lying. Stop listening to a lying person who is clearly unwell and has already starved the horses. Right? It seems so simple. Anyways, feeling crazy. That's it for today. Say hi to my friends. Hi, babies. Everyone here